Okay, welcome, Kingdom Encouragers. I am your host, Ty Newman, and I have a very special guest here with me. I have AJ Scott here with me, and I just want to tell you a little bit about him. Uh, First of all, he's my uncle. Second of all, he has been my supporter system since I've been a child, and I am very grateful for him. And I know that there are others in the world that may have the same situation, and that's why I wanted to bring light to this special podcast during Father's Day. So I want to welcome my guest. Hey, AJ, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
So, are you excited about the podcast?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And when I asked you to do the podcast, what did you first think?
I don't know if I'll be able to answer the questions, or that's about it.
Okay. Okay. I wanted to do this one because, it's a lot of people that, have support systems and families, and some people don't. But the ones that do can kind of understand where I'm coming from. Just growing up as a child, my under the circumstances, my father's unavailable, and we'll keep it that way. But just how you've been a support system during that process, assisting in areas that assisted my dad, and for that I am grateful. But I know that there are others out here, and there are other aunts and uncles that also play this role. So I wanted to present this as an encouragement to those people that may be experiencing this type of dynamic in their life. So just to bring things to light, I wanted to know, what does being a father mean to you?
To me, being a father is a person that's always there, doing ups, downs, whatever. I just want to say one thing though. There's a difference between a father and a dad. A dad is a person who birthed you,
Mm-hmm.
who's your dad.
Mm-hmm.
A father is a person that's always there through the ups and the downs, all that comes with it. A
Mm-hmm.
father is there. He's gonna make sure you succeed in every aspect of your life,
Mm-hmm.
and try to be there every moment,
Yeah.
just to make sure that you are able to eat, you have roof over your head, clothes on your back, education, and just all the little things about life that a father tells you, and hopefully that whatever they instill in you, you can carry through the rest
Yeah.
of your life.
Yeah. I think that says a lot about fatherhood. Um, but being a father, because most people need that support system, they also need to be affirmed, because there's so many people out here in the world that have not been affirmed, and they don't know which direction to go, or they have a different perception on what life should be, or how the dynamics of parents should be. So I wanted to know if you can share a memorable moment you had as a father, or being a father figure in someone else's life.
Well, that's a hard question, but being a father figure in someone else's life is because I come from a background with no father. I had a dad in my life, but not a father. So I went through life knowing what I wanted and not being encouraged by anyone else. I just stayed the course, and that's where I am today. But just knowing someone is struggling and you are able to help them, whether it's your a friend or stepkids or whatever the case may be, that you are there for them and doing the best that you can to help them out and steer them
Mm-hmm.
through life in a good way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, how do you believe a support system impacts a child's development?
Well, it really helps a child out when they know that they have support. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, when a child knows when there's nobody there to support them, everyone is turning their back on them, and it's very hard for them. But just for them to know that you have their back, whether it's good or bad, uh, they just need someone there.
Yeah. I think about just going through elementary, middle, high school, and even some of the roles that teachers play in our lives, and they will support you the best way they can. But also just having support system from your family, like when the summertime comes, how you will go over and spend time with your family. Like most of the summers we spent with you all,
Mhm.
and just being able, you taking us to visit our father, and just being there for us when we needed you. And I wanted to honor you in that perspective, because I want you to know that it was truly appreciated. And I think it changed my view on how I think about things. And even me coming into a blended family myself, it opened up my heart to want to help someone else as well.
That's a part of life is helping others, not so much yourself, because when you know where you are in life,
Mm-hmm.
share it,
Mm-hmm.
use it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tool from God He gives to you to use to help other people.
Mm-hmm.
And without that tool, you can't make it. Let me just give you some few pointers about me coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I came up as a mother's boy because my dad. I had a dad. He was 10 hours away from me. I'm here in Detroit. My dad lives in Alabama. So I didn't have a dad to raise me or whatever. But I knew what I wanted out of life is to help my mom because no one instilled anything in me. Everything that I have learned today, I made myself learn it. I paved the way with God's help to be where I am today. So I thank God for that. But young people, they're missing something, and they're missing the dads, and they need their father. They need their father in their lives to help steer. 'Em. Mothers are great; they are nurturers, but they need that. They need their father in their life too. That's why we're in the situation we're in today. But just coming up as a child, you have to have your own mindset. As a father, I can teach you and show you everything, but you got to also understand that at the end of the day, when I'm not here, no longer, you have to use your own mind to navigate through life. Life is not easy.
Mm-hmm. Those values that are instilled, just thinking, because even when you have a daughter, a mother can raise a daughter really well, because she can teach her the things that she needs to teach her. She still would need the love from her father and be affirmed by her father.
Absolutely.
But a mother can only do so much with the son.
Absolutely.
It's so many things that a son needs, that a mother cannot give them. Even going through the potty train phase, is women sit down, men stand up.
Absolutely.
So, a mother teaching their son how to be potty trained, sometimes the child may take on sitting down on the toilet versus standing up. Like initially they start sitting down, but as they grow bigger, they have to transition, but they need to see that from someone else.
Right.
And even like different values and models in life for a son, the father has to instill those things in them, because they can pick up the qualities of what a father should be versus seeing their mom. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong. Sometimes circumstances happen where a mom would raise their son and daughter, but it could be positive and negative effects in that.
Absolutely. Well, just with absent father, um, the child has a lot built up inside of him that mom was hard on him. It's a difference between the mom love and the dad's love.
Mm-hmm.
Mom is really, really, really hard on him. A dad is really strict. A
Mm-hmm.
father is really strict. But a child never forgets what's instilled inside of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just when they get older, they tend to drift away from it
Mm-hmm.
and go their own way. And but deep inside of them, they still remember what was still inside of them. So I would say this
Mm-hmm.
to all the young people and maybe some older people: uh, make sure you hang around people who wants things in life, positive
Mm-hmm.
things in life, and I guarantee you, your whole aspect of life will change. You'll want these positive things because as me coming up, I didn't hang around people who wanted less than what I wanted.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm here today without being raised by a father. Um, that's why I'm here today. So I'm
Mhm.
really grateful.
Yeah, and I think about just being a supportive sense of like an uncle to a niece or uncle to a nephew to help out in those areas where the mom, if they're a single parent, they may need that assistance. And I think just being there to support, like it's a tribe, a community of
Mhm.
people that will help and love and discipline you. I know, like in the '80s when we grew up, we knew everyone down the street,
Mhm.
and if you did something wrong, they was able to get in your butt and take you to your mama.
Absolutely.
We don't live like that now.
No.
It's very don't tell my child what to do
Hmm.
and etc. I'm gonna leave it like that. But um, I think if we had that disciplinary, model, it would probably be a better place because kids wouldn't feel so entitled to say whatever it is that they want to say or be disrespectful to their elders because they know that it would be repercussions if they did do certain things like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that was one thing that we had. We had respect for the elderly people. Also, I mean, they we knew what not to do.
Hmm.
And we knew what if we did certain things, we would have to pay the price by not just our mom, but school teacher, our neighbors, and then when we get home, it's mom or dad
Yeah.
in that situation. But yeah, it wasn't easy coming up, but it was a life lesson, a great life lesson that was taught to us.
Hmm.
And I wish the children of today would have had the same thing, and then they will understand that just because your parents are hard on you doesn't mean they don't love you.
Hmm.
That means that they do love you and they want the best for you because life is not easy. The streets are not easy. And it's so easy to get in trouble, but it's so very hard to get out of it.
Hmm. And just as young men, there's so many young men becoming fathers, and knowing that they didn't have a father to bring them up,
Mm-hmm.
and in their heart, I believe that they want to be the best fathers that they can be, but during that process they may become overwhelmed because they don't know what to do. What advice would you give young men that grew up without a father but had a support system, but still they don't really know what that looks like as being a father, and they may be feeling overwhelmed?
I think young men nowadays don't shy away from asking for help.
Hmm.
There's a lot of communities where there's men teaching young men how to be fathers and so on and so forth. The church has a lot in it. There's a lot of things for young people that they don't get involved in. And it will help them out a lot. I honestly think it will help them out a lot just knowing how to be a father when you didn't have a father in your life. I, for example, didn't have a father in my life. I had a living father, but the father wasn't in my life. But it wasn't up to him to direct my life. It was up to me at the end of the day. When I was old enough, I moved away from home at 18. I never went back. I stayed the course. I worked 2 to 3 jobs just so I can live. And my goal was to live. And I've been living since then. And I'm 60 years old. So I thank God for that because God has kept me a mighty long time.
I think that's awesome. But just even, some young people are overwhelmed and they don't know what to do. What would you, like, if you see one of our family members that you can tell that they were overwhelmed, what would you tell them? Like, what words would you actually say? Hey, you know, hey, I see that you may be overwhelmed, or how would you, like, I don't know how a guy would talk to another guy, so I'm just trying to put it together. But what would you tell them?
First, you got to ease the pain.
Hmm.
Um, you have to ease the pain because it's hard to talk to younger people, but they will listen.
Hmm.
So if you can get them and you can talk to them, make sure they are looking at you eye to eye.
Hmm.
Make sure they are listening because you can tell when a child is listening or they're just drifting off. But a lot of children just need someone to speak well to them,
Mhm.
honest words, not just something that's here to this moment and go. They need you every day.
Mhm.
So even if it's just a phone call, hey, how you doing? How's your day going? Hey, stay the course. Let's have a good day on purpose.
Mhm.
And every day these things start to resonate with them and they become a better person.
Mhm.
And then they start to think for themselves what they want in life. But when everything around them is crashing and it's everything is so negative, they can't believe that there's anything positive out there.
Mhm.
So they need a positive person to be in their life every day, and to and so they understand. But also they have to open up to you,
Mhm.
so you know where to go with your conversations. Conversations are positive. To be distracted and do something that you'll regret.
Mhm.
So I was telling her, don't do something that you'll regret. You have a good job, you make a decent pay. If you're sitting at home, your husband is gonna start with your husband. You and him gonna get into it because you don't lost your job. So whatever it is, set it aside, pray about it, and so
Mhm.
you can keep your job.
Mhm.
So for young men, if I talk to young men all the time at work, and they respect me. All of them respect me. They call me, hey, Unc, because when they see me, they put their glasses on. They do this.
Mhm.
Do I'm not a supervisor. I'm just a person that try to steer people in the right direction.
Mhm.
I don't always go in the right direction.
Mhm.
Sometimes I tend to find myself drifting, but I've
You
I
get up.
steer back to
Yeah, and that's
to
the thing.
to the right course.
That's the thing. We don't always make the right decisions, but being able to identify that this decision is not right and I need to get back on track, that that says a lot about character building because you're able to articulate, hey, I'm not on the right track, I need to get back up and I need to get on a better path. And just being able to recognize that is a good thing because a lot of people don't recognize it, or they
Right.
don't know how to get back there, or they deal with a lot of shame because they feel like, oh, well, I'm not, I didn't, I didn't get up in time enough, or if there is no return, but there is. And that's the kind of God that we serve. We serve a forgiving God.
Absolutely.
And even when we fall, he tells us to get back up. A just man's fall 7 times, but he gets back up again.
There's a song.
Hmm.
We
Yeah,
fall,
but we get up.
but we get up. And that song is true every day in your life. As a
Hmm.
baby, you crawl, you fall, you walk, you fall, you get back up, and you try it again to be successful at it. So never think that falling or your world is crumbling, that it's gonna last forever. It's up to you to
Hmm.
fix it. No one's gonna fix it for you, but God will guide you through it.
Hmm.
And just keep the faith. Most importantly is that you have faith.
Hmm.
Everything in the world is not negative. It's how well you put it together to make it positive.
I think it's just about changing your perception on how you view things and
Mm,
not look at, even if the world is negative, you still find a positive out of the negativity. And
absolutely.
always be optimistic about things. That's one of the things that I always try to do is just be very optimistic about things because you don't know, but it's like I have the hope that it'll get better.
Mm.
I may be going through this right now, but it's gonna get better. Eventually, it will get better. So I wanted to know, what would you say that you want to pass down to our generations and our family, the younger people in our family?
I just say to young people, use your own mind.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get caught up in the new era, the
Mm-hmm.
songs, the video games. It's all right to listen. It's all right to play them, but use your own mind. Guide yourself. Don't be driven by music, video games. Be driven by what you want in life.
Mm-hmm.
Life is not hard
Mm-hmm.
and it's not easy,
Mm-hmm.
but how you portray it is what comes out of it. If you feel it's negative, you're gonna get negative.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want some positive, positive come with hard work, dedication, and much prayer.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have that, you can make it.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying it's gonna be easy,
Mm-hmm.
because it wasn't easy for me, but I made it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it.
So you are an overcomer. You've overcome a lot of obstacles that you faced in life.
Absolutely. You just gotta stay the course.
Mm-hmm.
Stay the course. Don't let it bend you. Don't let it break you, and don't let it turn you in a different direction.
Mm-hmm. So, what advice would you give to fathers who are trying to be more present in their children's lives?
I say to fathers, you may get rejected because you're not in your child's life. They may look at you as a bad person because you wasn't in their life. Stay the course. If they see you more, they hear from you more. It's not also that I you got to have all this money for a child to love you. A child want presence,
Mm-hmm.
presence in their life. They want you present in their life. They want to hear your voice because deep down inside, that child loves you. They just don't know how to show it because you have broken promises. Keep the promise.
Mm-hmm.
If you promise them something, go through with it. Do
Mm-hmm.
not promise something that you're not going to do. Just be honest with your children and stay the course. Kids love you.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't know how to show love, just like you don't know how to show love. When you love them, you never, ever let them down. When you let them down, then they feel like you don't love them. And deep down inside, you love them, but you have to explain to them that you didn't make it, why you weren't able to do it.
Mhm.
You probably wanted to do it, but life threw you a curveball.
Mhm.
Explain that to your children, and you'll have a better relationship. And I think, honestly, the kids will come out better. They won't go through life thinking everything that's promised to them got to happen. Things happen in life. You can promise it today, but a curveball hits you and you can't get into the week after.
Mhm.
So just stay the course with your kids. Show them love. Always show them love through the ups and the downs, because you got to understand your life wasn't easy
Mhm.
and their life is not going to be easy, but you have to be there for them.
Because I think it's more so just like anger. They're angry and they don't know how to express their anger, and then it's like a whole separation process with children when initially they have two parents and then they have one parent in a household, and then maybe the parent transitions to something else. And I think the child is more angry, but I think, and this is one of the things, and people laugh when I say this, but the Kardashian family, I used to watch their show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that for me that stood out in their show is that even though things may have not worked out in relationships with their husbands or children's fathers or whatever, um, they kept that family presence, that support system for the kids. And I think that that's not really a normal thing in African American families.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that should be a new normal and push that. I would say it's probably maybe a 3%. This is just my personal percentage. I would say you don't see it too often, but just being a support system, even though, okay, we decided to go our separate ways, but we still have to support the child. I think the
Absolutely.
person that is most affected in relationships when they end partnerships, marriages,
That's the
is the
child.
children.
That's the children.
And I think that the adults have to set their feelings aside to be there to support the child, because that is the most important thing. If you have children and you decide to go your separate ways, I would say support the children. They need to be supported. They need to know that they're loved, and they don't need to feel an absent presence due to the adults' personal feelings. And even now, I see that so much with younger people that may have not went the traditional way that God requested it to be, but they have children and then things don't work out between them and they go their separate ways. And it's like the person that's suffering is the child.
Yes, because the child sees the negative part after the whatever happened when they were together, but when they
Mm-hmm.
separate, the child only sees the negative part.
Mm-hmm.
And it's up to the parents to turn the negative into a positive.
Mm-hmm.
That means the missing parent that's not in the household no more has to stay in contact
Mm-hmm.
with that child, even if they're not gone. But don't put